Hi guys, so I just put up my coming out story part 2 and my coming out story part 1 has finished editing, so both of those are back up, or coming out story part 1 is up and coming out part, part 1 is back up, part 2 is now up, so you guys can go check those out. And this, sticking with part 2s, we are on my life story part 2. This would be part 2 is my elementary and middle school years. Sorry, I blanked out there. And the reason I'm putting those 2 years together is because they intersect and stuff. Okay, so jumping into elementary school, age 7. We're jumping to age 7. I was sexually abused for summer, for the summer that I was 7. And me, my brother, and his friend would go to, I'm just going to call him family friend, whatever, I don't remember the gist of what he was. Anyway, so we would go by him, and so he sexually abused me, and I remember one time I was waiting to take a bath, and I was in nothing but a towel, and so I was sitting on the bed waiting for my brother and his friend to finish, and then I was gonna get in, but I remember the guy asked me, can I take pictures of you because you're naked anyway? Sorry. And I said no. Out of everything I said no to the pictures, so that night, I was sleeping and I woke up to a flashing light that kept like flashing. And so I opened my eyes just a little bit, like not fully, so whatever it was or whoever it was wouldn't know I was awake. And it was him, and he was taking pictures of me. And to this day, I don't know what happened to those pictures. For all I know, they could be on the internet somewhere. I really don't know what he did with them, and I really don't want to know. Now that I'm older, I realize how just sickening it was. But I was 7 at the time, and I was a kid, and he easily bribed me a lot. He'd bribe me with like going to Chuck E. Cheese, going to the movies, candy. He bribed me with stuff kids don't really say no to anymore, or at least I didn't. It didn't say no. I remember another time, and we all went to the movies, me, him, and my brother, and the friend, and I ate something, and I grew really, really sick. And so we had to leave the movie, and I said, I want to go home, and he said, no, you'll be fine, you don't need to go home. Like, he wasn't, like, mean about it, but he really didn't want me to go home, and it was, yeah, he said, one of his threats for going home was, oh, well, then you won't be able to go to Chuck E. Cheese with us. And I said, I don't care. I want to go home. I'm sick and I don't feel good. And I want to go home. I want to be with my mom. Anyway, so I finally did get home and I passed out right away. As soon as I, like, entered the house, I got to my bed and I was out. So I don't know. Maybe I just had the flu. I don't know what that was. He left that summer. Never came back. Never heard from him again, which I am absolutely grateful for, because who knows what else he would have done. And so yeah, I'm pretty grateful that he left and is gone out of our lives. And yeah, and so that's all good. And that was a pretty shitty time in my life. but I was 7 and I didn't know, and I didn't tell anybody until I was 15, and that will be when I jump over to high school, which is next week's video. In high school, and I'll explain all that. But yeah, he left that summer, and yeah, we never heard from him again. And then in school, I was bullied a lot, and I went to Catholic schools, and I was bullied a lot, and not just verbal bully. I was physically bullied in school, and I remember in middle school one time, I remember a girl kicking me in my back for, I don't remember what for, but it was just a really bad time for me. Being picked on and bullied. I remember at one point I was called an ogre and just really rude, mean, horrible things. But of course, I was the suffer in silence type. So of course, I didn't tell anybody how bad the bullying was. So, family, if you're watching this, yeah, now you actually know. Because I didn't tell anybody. And, I mean, the kids were bad, and I hate to talk bad about teachers, but, like, my, I just felt really dumb in school. Like, I have, ADHD, so my mind wanders while I'm in class, and I'm dealing with it in college now, but, so, like, I'd be sitting in class, and the teacher will be explaining how to do stuff, and like my mind will go wander for the entire class period, and I'll have go home and try to do this homework, and I'll have no idea what I'm doing because I was zoning all throughout class. And so, like, the teachers could be pretty mean because they all thought I was just lazy, or that I just didn't want to do the work, when in all reality I couldn't do the work because I didn't know what I was doing because I kind of spaced during class. I remember I used to, because I didn't get the homework done or whatever, I used to have to sit in this room, I think during recess or something, and I had to sit in this room right across the hall from the freaking principal and the office area. And I had to sit in this room, and I had to sit and do this work. Yeah. I remember one time the principal actually came over and started yelling at me. Because to them, I just didn't care. I didn't want to do the work. That's what they saw, and I think that's what my parents saw too, was that I just didn't want to do the work, when in all reality, I had no idea what the hell I was doing. But of course, I didn't tell anybody this because I was on medications trying to help me focus, and it just, yeah. And I think what really annoyed them was, in the beginning of the year, I was doing amazing. I did amazing. I was focused. I did what I had to do in the beginning of the year. And then you notice a slow decline. And at the end of the year, I picked back up again. I almost didn't pass 8th grade though, because I had to come one extra day and get a whole bunch of crap done, and before I could graduate, which is embarrassing. But I did it, and I graduated. But like, yeah, I felt horrendous those couple years. Like, I felt so stupid, and I struggled. I struggled a lot, but nobody knew because I kept everything, and I never told a soul anything. Yeah, I really was a suffer in silence. You don't tell anybody anything, and you'll be okay type of person. And I still am. I still suffer in silence. It isn't always a good thing. But yeah, so those are my middle school and elementary school years. And you would think going to a Catholic school, they wouldn't be it may be verbal, but not really physical. Yet that didn't happen. I was mainly physically bullied, and yeah, a lot verbal too. But yeah, it wasn't a good feeling. And I remember this one kid actually had followed me from school to school and almost ended up at the same high school as me. And, like, he was the worst. He was so mean to me. And I'm like, oh my god, if he ends up in my high school, I'm moving to a different freaking country. Like, he was he was evil, just plain evil, and following me from school to school pissed me off. But yeah, so those are my 2 years and part 3. I will try to get up another video next week. I've been constantly doing 2 to 3 videos each time, and I said I would only do one. So next week I will stick with that and only put up one video, maybe. But yeah, so those were my wonderful years, and you learned a little bit about my history. Yeah, that was my he was guy. It was my first male interaction. Yay me. Alright guys, I am going to stop this video because it's pretty long. Alright, love you guys, and I will be putting up one last video tonight, and then I am done. And I'm gonna go eat dinner and sleep or something. I don't know. Alright, love you guys.